Well, it's time to learn something new with Doc University. But before we get into that, I want to thank our sponsor, Ping Players. If you look in the description below, you can get 35% off your multiplayer Satisfactory server using the code DOC35. We'll tell you more about them later, but in front of you, what we have in this particular episode is a steel factory. Now, we're going to produce the steel ingot in this factory, and what we want to do then is we want to first check out the foundry. The foundry is a new device now that you have to use for the first time when creating steel ingots. If we go to configure this one, the regular steel ingot recipe, you use 3 iron in there, 3 coal in there, and those 3 create 45 per minute. So you're using 3 of each to create 45 per minute, 45 per minute iron ore, 45 per minute coal. There is a great alternate recipe that you should be working to get before this time. If you're searching for hard drives and getting alternate recipes off those hard drives, the recipe that you should be hunting for is the solid steel ingot. Now that allows you to pre-process the iron ore into iron ingots, and you get 2 iron ingots and 2 coal, each at 40 per minute, and it produces 60 iron ingots. So there's a 1-for-1 ratio between the iron ore and an iron ingot. So you get, basically you're putting in 2 iron ore instead of 3, 2 coal instead of 3, and producing 3 steel ingots. So I would advise you really solidly to go get hard drives, get as many as you can, and get that solid steel ingot recipe. Now, that means that we're going to go over here to create iron ingots first, and notice 1 ore to 1 ingot. So in the foundry, you're producing 45 per minute iron ore to get 45 per minute steel out, adding also 45 per minute coal. Here you're going to produce 1 iron ore, 1 to 1 iron ingot, and produce them at 30 per minute. That'll be critical when we start talking about the numbers a little bit later on. So we're going to choose this particular recipe, and we're going to go ahead and build out our manifolds based on 600 items per minute coming into the conveyor. We've got conveyors running at Mark 5 at the current moment, so I always build to my conveyors. Now, if you have a Mark 4 conveyor at 480 or less, you're going to have to balance the numbers based on the conveyor that you have available. I have available Mark 5s, so that's what I'm going to work with for this particular video. So if I've got 600 coming in, now I've got 600 coming in when the belt can handle 720. Understand that. I have 1 mine that's a pure mine, and it's overclocked 250%, making it a 600 per minute rate coming into my train yard over here. So I know I have 600 per minute coming in on that conveyor, even though it can do 720. Okay, I've got 600 coming in, which means if I need 30 per minute here, I need, if I press N here, I can quickly do 600 divided by 30. Okay, so I can use 20 smelters to make the iron ingots that I need at the full rate. So I'm going to produce 20 of those. And because I'll then produce 600 coming out, my next number is going into the foundry. I'm going to do 20 of those. And then going into the foundry, I need 40 per minute. So I've got 600. Let's take N here. I've got 600 iron ingots coming out. I'm going to divide that by the 40 that I need for this machine, and I can get 15 foundries out of that 600. Okay, so I'm going to build 20 smelters. I'm going to build 15 foundries. Out the other end will be 60 steel per minute, which means instead of 40, I'm going to get 2/3, a third, a half more than what I put in. So I'm going to get 900 out, which means I'm going to max my belt. Okay, so I'm going to end up maxing the belt, which means I'm going to push into those machines a little bit more than what they can handle. So that means I'm going to put my conveyor belts down the center and have the outputs come out the outside and go down so that I'm splitting that 900 in half, or 450 per belt, and then go ahead and put them into separate storage containers, or send them out in 2 separate conveyor lines. So this is a case where your inputs are shorter or smaller than your outputs. So you want to put your inside conveyors to be the inputs, and then the outside conveyors to be the outputs, sending out your finished product. So let's get to building. And so I'll turn the camera off for now, so I won't make you watch through all of that. But let's see what that looks like when it's done. 20 smelters to begin with, and we'll see what that looks like. Playing Satisfactory with friends shouldn't mean dealing with lag, crashes, or confusing server setup, and ping players make sure you don't. Ping players' high-performance servers keep everything running smoothly with low latency and reliable uptime. And you don't have to mess with port forwarding or custom configs. Servers launch in minutes with easy control panels and automatic backups built in. So you can focus on building, exploring, and expanding together without worrying about whether the connection will hold or the world will load. Right now, you can get 35% off any Satisfactory server with the code DOC35 at checkout. Ping players, multiplayer without the mess. All right, so now we have the manifold for the smelters all put together. There's 20 smelters here, 10 on each side. The input is in the center and the output is coming out on the outside. They've been running long enough now that they're almost to the point of being all backed up. Yep, they've all quit just now. So they're all full and ready and raring to go. The product is still coming in here, so there's a few of them that are still kind of running to fill up the last of the buffers. If we look at this last one here, it's got 62 in its buffer. When it hits 100, then that one will stop. So we've got it all taken care of. Now, all we need to do is to merge these two outside lines into a center line, into the foundry, bring in the coal from over here, this other line on the top here that we don't have connected yet. Bring the coal on over here, and we're ready to get moving with our steel line. I'm going to go build those foundries, and I'll be right back to you. Okay, so in the last section, you saw how I created the 20 smelters in order to create the iron ingots. Okay, the iron ingots are flowing into here, and you see them flowing into each of the foundries. Now, I've been running the foundries long enough, and it appears as though I've got one that's not quite working right. So let's check this out here, see if we can get it working. Get the ingots going into that machine. Because they're getting downstream, they're not going to the side. So I get the feeling there's possibly something wrong with this splitter here. So let's go ahead and just reconfigure. Ooh, gosh. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's replace that splitter there. Okay. And we'll just put that in there, and put that in there, and that in there, and we gotta pull from there, and get it attached to there. All right, let's see. What? Why did I end up with a smart splitter? Well, we can just configure the smart splitter to just do any and any. So if you accidentally put a smart splitter there and you don't want to just replace it, you can just tell it to go any, and or you can just go back to a regular splitter and hit control here and go boom, and it's back to a regular splitter. So regular splitter works fine. and it's still slowly filling up here, and it's going to just fill up because the rest of the line has got everything filled up. And so everything appears to be working right, with the exception of that first one that I had a little mess up on, but that always happens. You always have to check your indicator lights here to make sure that everything is running correct, so that they're all green if you expect them to be making product, or at least yellow if you expect them to be backed up, as I do. So all this. So I hope you've liked the video. I have so much fun playing Satisfactory, and I have fun making efficiently run factories. I don't make them really pretty, but they run well. So, I want to give a shout out to Ping Players. They are sponsoring this video, and click the pinned comment if you want to get 35% off on your first subscription to a Ping Players. Click the link below in the comment section to get 35% off on your first Ping Players subscription, and 60 seconds after you do that, you can have your server set up and you're already playing. So I've enjoyed the video. Hit that like button if you have, and we'll look forward to seeing you later. Thank you.